Hey, today is March 27th, 2026. My name is Tim. I'm not making this video for any specific reason. I just wanted to try to record, leave some kind of an evidence as to where I am as a person, what type of thoughts I've been having, just to track the progress, I guess, on where I'm carrying myself, what kind of mental state I've been at, but also maybe engage with whoever finds this interesting. In terms of subject matter, I don't really plan on discussing something specific. I'll just kind of talk about things as they come to mind. I will likely not edit any of these videos unless, of course, the videos head in a certain way, or if I end up collaborating with someone to make a specific content. These videos are not meant to be educational, nor informative. The views and opinions shared in the video are my own, do not reflect any views or opinions of my employer, my firm, my clients, and so on. That said, I likely won't discuss anything too controversial, as I'm sure that will come back to bite me if I do end up discussing something too controversial. So I'll try to avoid them if I can. And yeah, today's Friday, and I didn't dress up for this video. I guess just for context, since I mentioned my employer, I am an attorney practicing in San Francisco. What you see behind me, I don't know if the focus will show, is San Francisco. Therefore, I'm dressed for the office, which I was there earlier today. It is a Friday, so I try to dress casually, which is what I ended up with, like a greenish jacket and like a blue striped shirt. So I guess this could be a first topic. I'm not sure how to dress. I mean, I don't think I'm particularly horrible at dressing up, but I also don't think I am the most well-dressed person. I feel like some may deem this a fashion crime. I am wearing like a checkered jacket with a striped shirt. I believe I read somewhere that you're not supposed to combine like a patterned shirt and a patterned jacket. Of course, opposed to being a very, I mean, who's coming up with that? But if you, the viewer, feel like you have good insight as to where you learn all these fashion tips and trends, yeah, please share, because I have a vague idea of what I'm doing, but clearly some will say I don't. So if I can improve, if I can read something or the YouTube channel should recommend in particular, I would love to check them out. It's so far been an interesting year, both in my personal life and worldwide. There's wars going on, there's questions about economy and the affordability of average day American citizens, or honestly anyone across the world. I guess every country is going through some sort of an affordability concern. Hopefully I will talk about some of those issues if I can avoid being political about them. I am Californian, and therefore some of my opinions and thoughts are very likely to be more left-leaning than not. Of course, I am in a professional field. You know, I do work for a larger law firm, as opposed to, you know, smaller firms with a couple attorneys. I was also raised in a, you know, Asian household. I was raised in a Christian family, so I have some viewpoints that are, you know, of course, sometimes viewed as right-leaning due to my background, which of course changed over time, and there's, you know, things I disagree from my family. But I think politics as a discussion should be something that people can do without having it become a controversy. You know, when we discuss affordability, or when we discuss human rights, or what is and is not allowed for those in power to do, it shouldn't immediately become a controversy. I feel like there's ways to have those discussions meaningfully in a manner where we try to find out what values are important for us as Americans, or us, you know, us as in just people generally living on this planet together. So, you know, of course, although I said I'll try to avoid controversial topics or discussing matters that might upset my clients or my firm's leadership and so on, as people who are alive, I think some conversations should always be had in a frank and honest manner. So as I see fit, I'll talk about them. I'm sure 2026 is going to be an exciting year, as we're only 3 months in, and we're starting it off with the war. Of course, the administration is talking about how quick it will be and so on, but we're already a couple weeks in, and I'm not sure how many people are feeling optimistic about the issue resolving quickly. I recently moved back to San Francisco. I've been back for about a week now. San Francisco as a city has, you know, a reputation. I feel like there's a lot of news in the media about the type of crimes or the homelessness issue and so on. I can't say I lived in many cities, and of course San Francisco is not really a large city compared to, you know, cities like New York or Chicago in terms of the size of the downtown and so on. But yeah, I've been enjoying the city so far. Maybe I'll talk about certain parts of the city as I get to explore more. Well, gee, that is, I have 3 cats for context. Hey, Mochi, come on, Mochi. This is Pluto, the one that you see standing up. Mochi. This is Mochi. He's the fluffiest cat we have, and therefore causes the most amount of lint. I'm sure there'll be videos where I am completely covered in cat hair, despite trying to lint roll it off of me. And then I have like a medium length hair. I don't know what you call them, but I essentially have a short hair, long hair, and like a medium length haired cat. The third one that I did not show on camera, his name is Pepper. He is very skittish and very difficult to pick up, so it is very unlikely that he will ever make an appearance in any of the videos. But yeah, I have 3 cats. I live with my wife. The 2 cats belonged to my wife when I met her, and then Mochi was the cat that I had. And when we got married and got together, we ended up having 3 cats, which is a lot of cats. It's a lot of hair. This is my first video, so I have no idea if the sounds are coming through, but hopefully you don't hear the homeless person screaming outside. So I am not going to say the city has no crazy people. The city definitely does have, as all cities do, some people who are struggling, let's just say. It is still middle of the day and it is Friday, so probably going to clock out so I can go back to working some more. If you have any thoughts on what you would like for me to discuss specifically, I will not be answering any legal questions. I will not be providing any legal advice, so don't ask any specific legal questions that you would like for me to provide for you to rely on. Hopefully I'll talk about music sometime in the future as well. I have some background in music and art. I went to an art school in Rhode Island for my undergrad briefly, and I played a significant amount of piano for a while. I'm hoping to pick piano back up. So maybe if I feel comfortable or if I make some progress, I'll someday post videos of me playing piano, which I think could be fun. Yeah. I kind of hit record without really a plan, so I'm just generally sharing. I've been getting into whiskey. It's something that I plan to continue getting into. Not really a wine person, I found, so I'm starting with Scotch mostly, but also dabbling in some bourbon. If you have any thoughts on what I should try, or how to get more knowledgeable or get engaged with the community a little bit better in that industry, please let me know. Definitely one of the struggles about bourbon and Scotch is dealing with scalpers. I've noticed that the prices of the drinks are not available at what they're marketed as online, or what the MSRP value is supposed to be. A lot of the bottles are marked up significantly, and if they're popular bottles, instead of just being difficult to find, they're usually just much more expensive than what you anticipated before looking for them at shops. I've been told that some of that can be mitigated if you just know the right people, and I've heard people talk about how they have contacts on where to buy bourbons and their booze. To me, that sounds like too much effort. I don't drink that often. I don't drink that heavily. So it's an industry I'm dabbling with, but it's almost giving the same vibe as like collecting Pokemon cards. It's like some people are buying it without even intending to drink it. They're just buying it hoping to flip it and make profits, which, as someone who's just trying to enter the hobby, increase my interest, it is kind of annoying. I mean, I understand. I mean, if there's profits to be made, I get it. You're hustling and trying to make some money, but so if you're a local in San Francisco, if you have tips about how to enter that circle, know where I should go to pick up certain brands, would be very appreciated. What else? Check the time. Well, it's like a 15-minute video. I probably won't edit this. I don't really know how to edit videos very well. Maybe if I end up spending more time on these videos, if I find a need to edit these videos, or if the pace at which that I talk is too frustrating for people to listen to since it's, you know, unedited and I'm just kind of aimlessly going through my thoughts without a script, maybe I'll edit them. Maybe if I find these videos worthwhile, I'll try to create some kind of a script so that I know what topics I'll be discussing. I never meant this video or videos to be, you know, any sort of reflection of my professionalism or my presentation skills. It's just me at a certain point in my life. And I'm hoping over time, you know, as I make short videos, just going over things that are going through my head, it'll just collectively reflect who I am, for better or for worse, I guess. Maybe I don't really want that in public, in case I turn out to be not so respectable. But yeah, so if you've made it this far, it's just 16-17 minutes of me rambling. Thank you, and maybe there'll be another one, but like actually maybe, because I don't know. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.